Good morning, friends. Today, I'd like to do a book review by Eric Jensen. It's called Teaching with Poverty in Mind, and it's published by the Association of Supervisors and Curriculum Developers. Now, this is a secular book designed for teachers in the public school system. But the reason I'm reviewing this book today is I believe that every minister, every Sunday school teacher, every youth leader in every church should read and be intimately familiar with this book, Teaching with Poverty in Mind by Eric Jensen. Have you ever had to deal with a problem person or a problem kid in Sunday school or a problem teenager in your youth group, and it just seemed you're wasting your time? Why are you spending your resources on them? You're not making any progress. You've gone out of your way to help these people. Not only did they not appreciate your efforts, but they ignored them and went the opposite way. They went backwards and you lost ground. You're frustrated and you're ready to give up. I ask you to not give up until you've read this book, Teaching with Poverty in Mind. This one book, it's not too thick, it is an academic book, but it's not very thick, will change your ministry forever. Eric Jensen explains in this book how trauma limits the ability for people to appreciate and execute progress and improvements in their life. And what you're doing is you're going and fighting against those traumas. Trust with others has been disengaged and totally destroyed. You see, the average American that lives in poverty has gone through at least 8 traumas in their life. And the worst of those traumas is divorce. Now, these traumas can actually be measured in the brain. When you have a healthy brain, the brain cells have legs on or arms. They actually come together and they will tighten when the brain is healthy. When the brain is dying, those legs and arms can actually pull apart, and that part of the brain is not healthy. So what is going on? What's the challenge here? You see, when the trauma happens, there's 2 parts of the brain. There's the logical part and there's the emotional part. During trauma, the logical part, the part that you educate and learn and makes you smart, actually dies. It pulls those cells apart. But the emotional part, on the other hand, during a trauma, actually gets healthy and gets stronger. Stop and think before you do it, stupid, is exactly what is happening. You see, the emotional part is stronger than the logical part, so it's reacting faster than the logical part. This is the trauma damage done to a brain. It is actually has been measured, and the most significant case is in divorce. So let me give you an example of how this works in real life. Let's say there's a family, and to make ends meet, the dad needs a new job, and he gets the job. But to go to the new job, he needs a car. So the relatives, the aunts, the uncles, the grandma and grandpa pool their resources together and come up with an offering and give it to that family so they can go buy a car. So they go to a used car dealer, and when they arrive at the used car dealer, the salesman's all excited and explain to them, well, he's got a car that he's been driving. It's the best car he's ever driven. And the managers put a price on the windshield, but he thinks it's a mistake. This car is going to go for less than what they really could get for it. So if he would act now, he can get it at the mistaken price, cheaper than the full price. So taking advantage of the situation, they take that precious offering that they got from their relatives and they buy that car. Well, about 2 weeks later, on the way home from work, the car blows up. It's on the side of the road and it's worthless. Now they're out of their money, they're out of a car, and they lost their job. So the family has to move to another neighborhood. The kids get dragged into another school where they don't have friends and they don't belong. And their family never recovers from that incident. That trauma is burnt into that kid's head. That young person grows up and comes to the Bible college where I work at, the Apostolic Bible Institute, as the board member. And I see them and I say, oh, Sally, you need a job. Here's the deal. I've got a friend who owns a business. I told him about you. He's expecting your phone call. He's going to hire you. He knows about your hours of work. He knows how much money you need to make it through school. You just got to call, do an interview. The job is yours. So a week or so later, I check in with Sally. Sally, did you contact my friend about the job? And Sally looks at me and says, well, no, I'm not sure why he would want to hire me. I'm not really that good, and I don't want to go get a job and then there be a misunderstanding and I lose the job and stuff. So I didn't call your friend. I didn't take the job. I'm frustrated. I am upset. Here I laid the groundwork out. I used my name, I contacted with my friend to help this person, and they totally ignored me. But what's going through Sally's mind is that time her dad had that job, and that car salesman told him this was the best car ever, and it was a piece of junk, and he lied to them, and he hurt them. So I look like that car salesman to them. That's what's going on in the trauma of their mind. To recover from this, Jensen tells us it takes at least 2 years of hard work. Just some real quick tips you'll find in this book. Group assignments. So when you have an underperforming person, you put them in a group with others that will lift them. So in an academic situation, you do an assignment, a homework assignment, and you put 4 or 5 people in the group. You put a strong person, some average person, and the weak person. And you give a grade to the group. Okay? That grade will lift up the troubled person. And they go, I never knew I could get a B. I was always getting D's and F's. How did I get a B? They get excited and they start trusting themselves and they start working. Calling people by their name, really making them important, recognizing them, shaking their hand when you see them, helps a lot. Something that doesn't work, actually goes against the grain and will actually lock up a situation, is if there's tension in your staff, in your church or in your youth group or in your Sunday school. If there's tension in the staff, even though the young person doesn't see or hear what's going on, they can feel there's tension. They will know that something's coming down the line. They want no part of it, and they will lock up and they will back off from it. So having unity in your staff is very important. So if you haven't, I'm begging you, we've got a world of people hurting. We have to reach them. We have to bring them the truth. We have to introduce them to Jesus Christ. And the only way you're going to get there is to understand how to teach with poverty in mind. Get this book from Eric Jensen. The link is included with this video at the Association of Supervisors and Curriculum Developers. Everybody needs this in their library. Hello, my name is Hugh Plackett, and welcome to Finish Line Planning, where we help pastors who are undertaking church growth alone. It is my goal to assist pastors and lay leaders like you to optimize your growth potential in an environment of minimal time and staff. 60% of churches in North America operate with less than 100 members. Most of them require a bivocational pastor. Undertaking church growth alone can be challenging, and we're here to help. To maximize our resources and videos, we partner with church growth leaders like Carlton Kuhn, Tim Massengale, Dr. Eugene Wilson, Gary Elias, Dan Kyle, Calvin Jean, and others. To make the most of this opportunity for your ministry, church, and community, click the subscribe button here.